Hello and welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Happy Saturday. It is the weekly energy card reading, and what that is every Saturday I go ahead and let you, the reader, choose from one of 3 tarot or oracle decks. And what I do is I go ahead and do a brief spread to see what the energies will be like for the next 7 days. Today I'm going to do something kind of special. This week on Wednesday, April 22nd, it is Earth Day, and that is a day that's very special to me. Ever since I was a teenager or even younger, I've always really cared about environmental issues. I've always been a very good recycler, and actually I've even posted a few videos here on my channel called Eco Girl in a Modern World that talks about the morals that I have regarding the environment. Now, I am nowhere near to perfect when it comes to, adhering to being, zero waste, but there's a lot of changes that I've made in my life to help encourage the morals of recycling and being sustainable. And since Earth Day is this week, I wanted to do something kind of special for the weekly energy card reading. All of the videos on my channel will be dedicated to card reading and oracle for well-being. I really care about psychological analysis and looking at symbols. I'm a very spiritual person, so this is a very open environment. I always say that anyone who visits my channel, it doesn't matter what denomination or religion you're from. I just like this to be a very open and helpful space. I believe that symbols speak to you every day, and I'm a very green person. I care about the environment, and I care about the energies that are natural and found in the world. So of course, it all kind of ties into the themes of my channel, that things that are very organic or speak to you through the natural world are also very important to me. So again, I really kind of debated. So what I'll do is I'll go through a few brief announcements and then we'll get into the reading. If you want to jump straight to your reading, the timestamps are always listed in the description box below. But I'll just go ahead and get through some of the brief announcements. But with Earth Day being this week, by day, I'm an essential worker, and I have been working some long hours. I've been dedicating time to my videos for card reading because I think it's very important. Right now we are in the midst of a global health crisis, and I think that, participating in things that make you feel emotionally balanced, and, with us spending so much time at home, it gives us an opportunity, and I do think of it as an opportunity to kind of reflect and to read cards or to do things that help us think about the future in a positive way. And so the Earth Day is a very important day to me. I actually took this week off, not this week, but I took Earth Day off on Wednesday so I can celebrate the day. I will be, adhering to the social distancing, but it's funny, again, like I said, since the time I was young, I've always cared about environmental issues. You've seen me post a few videos here. I will continue to post with the Eco Girl in a Modern World. I just felt like, with everything going on in the world, everybody has been concerned with other things. So, it's a little bit of an intimidating topic to talk about, what's going on in the world and how to make changes. And during a time when we're already making so many changes, when we're staying at home and we're feeling a lot of loss, it's just, I didn't want to burden anyone with that. So, to think about, how it's hard enough to stay at home and not, worry about what's going on in the world versus what you can do to change the environment, which I know is also a very important topic. So to celebrate the day, I thought about a few ways that I could go ahead and integrate the Earth Day theme into my card reading. I really debated whether or not I should do a separate reading. Last week I had done a weekly energy card reading that was based on Easter and Passover, and I wasn't sure, I got a good response. I think everyone really enjoyed that reading. So I debated and I thought, okay, should I do a separate reading, with oracle cards on the day of Earth Day? But to be honest, I do kind of need a chance to recharge. I need a full day off, and to actually, to share with you, I'm so excited. I'm going to take the day off, and I'm going to, I actually have this really cute t-shirt that is 80% recycled cotton. It's, and it says, it has a Mother Earth slogan on it. And over it, I'm going to put on a pair of linen overalls. And linen is a very organic and recyclable material. It's so cute. And it makes me think of that song, Come On Eileen. I'll be singing it on the day as I'm out in my garden and going for a walk in nature with trees. But I think if you guys don't mind, I'm going to take the full day off. I'm really going to enjoy it. I'm going to get out in nature and just connect, and I will do nothing. It will be a do nothing day. So with that decided, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I did last week, which is I'm going to have an all oracle card reading, which I think we really enjoy, because I can totally, as you've seen, I can totally read oracle cards the same way that I read tarot. And I just want to take a moment to say to all of my new subscribers, thank you so much. Speaking of organic, my channel is growing very organically, and I am so grateful for every single one of you. So what I'm going to do is, in a minute, I'm going to let you choose from one of 3 tarot decks. Now, the first deck is the Earth Magic Oracle cards from Stephen D. Farmer, and the placeholder is a little, I think it is either a sodalite or a lapis lazuli dragonfly. And dragonflies really mean a lot to me. They're such a special spirit animal. The second deck is listed in the description box below. The terrible thing is I love these cards, but I always draw a blank when I think about the name. But all of the name of the authors and the name of the decks are in my description box. And it has such beautiful messages. I actually pull these cards for myself just about every single day, and I think it's so great. The placeholder is a tiger's eye bear, and what I love is when you turn, it turns from a light bear to a dark bear. I'm sorry, I'm easily entertained, but I think that's so great. The other thing is, if you can see this, he fits perfectly. There's a little dream catcher in the center of these cards, and the little bear fits right inside. It's like he's meant to be inside of the circle. So I'm feeling like a zen to this. I'm feeling an entire Native American pull to this deck. And the last deck is, I believe it's called Messages from Your Animal Guides. And again, the exact name of the deck and the author is also by Stephen D. Farmer, who's the author of these cards. So it's an animal-based oracle. And then you have my goldstone frog. And what I love about this guy is that just about every single stone animal that I have has some kind of imperfection. It's just the thing that I do. He has a little imperfection under his eye, and I just feel like that makes him all the more lovable. He doesn't have a name. If anybody wants to name him, please feel free to leave a comment. But these are the 3 decks, so in a minute we'll let you choose from the 3 decks. To help clarify, I decided to really veer away from the norm. I'm going to go ahead and I felt like we haven't used dice in a while, and this is great. This is actually conversation dice, and what I love about it is this is actually the tile that I got last night. I wanted to make sure all of the dice were in the bag before I started to pull them, but just last night I got pros and cons. And the funny thing is, I was pulling cards for myself. This is a completely separate deck, but I got balance. I got balance, and I got pros and cons. And I'm a Libra sun sign, so I'm like, oh, okay, the world is asking me to. I apparently needed to make a decision about something with all of my Libra balance. But what I love about these dice is that they are wooden. So they are of a sustainable resource. So I thought that was good to go with the theme of the Earth Day read. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and clarify your read by pulling one of the dice and throwing it to see further clarification. Now, I did also, in one last announcement, and then I will stop talking and let you start reading. I have been using kind of an older microphone. It's been a good microphone, but I do know that there's kind of a low hum buzz to it. And I'm sorry, I tried to have really good video and audio quality. I really don't like it when the audio goes in and out. And it was brought to my attention in one of the comments, which I appreciate, because I do, even if it's a little bit of a tougher feedback, I appreciate it. That we wanted to improve, the audio quality. So I did buy a new microphone. I'm excited. I am testing out the microphone right now, so I haven't used it yet, but I'm about to. I've charged it up and I've been playing with it. And later on, I hope to get some, new lighting and other, upgrades. But, you'll know when I use the new microphone. You'll hear it. All of a sudden, you'll hear, "In a world where tarot and oracle." And then it'll go back to normal, right? So as soon as you hear the new mic, I will go ahead and start using that new microphone, and I hope it improves the quality of the video sound. And I definitely, that is my contribution to the channel, because I do want it to be very easy to watch and very easy to hear. Okay, so in that vein, I will go ahead and let you choose your deck. I always ask if you could please choose from your intuition. If you like the card style or the placeholder or maybe even the number or the timestamp, just choose from your gut instinct, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. So let me go ahead. And so deck number one, you got again, this might be lapis lazuli or sodalite. I think it's lapis lazuli. I'm almost positive. But you got the dragonfly. So let's go ahead and see, what is your energies for the week? Okay, oh, awesome. Middle of the week. I'm sorry if I'm losing my voice a little bit. I've been talking a lot this week, and I tried to drink more water. Okay, towards the end of the week. Oh, wow. Oh, that's really beautiful energy, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and get your dice. Deck number one, what is your energy for the week? Ooh, collection. Oh, sorry, as I throw my bag around. I do make these bags, by the way. I do a lot of sewing. I just got a new deck today, which I'm trying to be good about it, but oh gosh, I love to sew. I love to get new decks and sew. All right, enough about me. So deck number one, your energies for the week. So by the beginning of the week, you got Green Man. And oh, how beautiful is that on the week of the Earth Week, right? So Synergy or Green Man is really, Green Man is kind of, it's a little bit of a Celtic lore. It's almost like Mother Gaia, but except in a more masculine expression. It's about someone who is in tune with their environment. It's someone who's in sync with the actions of what's going around them. And it's a very green energy. I'm seeing a lot of green here, and maybe it's just because they're earth cards. But I think at the beginning of the week, you're going to feel in your zone. And I think your zone, what I'm feeling is that you as a person and your environment, the people you work with, maybe even your family, are going to be very in sync. I just feel like I feel a synergy. I know that's I almost kind of joke, it's a little bit of a Dilbert kind of overused term when people are like, oh, it's synergistic, oh, you're vibing, right? It sounds almost woo-woo the way that we talk about card readers, right? But it's true. The beginning of the week, you are in the zone. You are in the zone. You are you are very organically moving with the energies of both your environment and yourself. And it's almost as if your energies and the energies around you are one and the same. And that's a beautiful kind of magnetic type of pulse. And I'm feeling a pulse. But the pulse is that amazing kind of, again, very just, you are a part of your environment and your environment is a part of you. And it's like that conduit, it's like that oval energy where the energy that you put out comes back into you, and it's very natural and it's very flow. And I'm getting a little bit of a magician vibe, but I'm also getting it kind of in a, you are just in tune. The beginning of your week, you're going to be very in tune, and you feel like you are feeding others and others are feeding you. Now, by the middle of the week, I'm really feeling kind of an apex. You got summer solstice, which is radiance. And of course, I've got to compare this to the sun in tarot. We had a tarot on the sun. If you ever want to watch that, that's under my playlist. But it's like, you know how summer is kind of that peak. You feel that peak of heat. You feel that peak of affluence. It's like, of course, I know now it's not a good time it is a good time to reflect on that. It's not a bad thing to think about the good times, think about the middle of July. And maybe you're thinking about the middle of July. Maybe you're working right now towards some kind of goal that, maybe you're looking forward to when we're out of social isolation. Maybe there's some big plan that you have. But I do get the feeling, that's a good interpretation. I think that by the middle of the week, you're feeling kind of like at the top. You're feeling really happy. You're feeling very radiant. I love that word, radiant. You're just glowing, right? You're feeling at a good place. Also, the summer solstice, which is in the middle of summer, I think it's towards the end of July, or I think it's the end of August. I know it's in like a Leo sun sign, which Leo rules the sun, to put the astrologer hat on for a moment. But I do think that you're either looking forward to some moment that you're planning in the summertime, either that, or you're just feeling by the middle of the week, you're going to feel like that midsummer kind of excitement where you've reached the peak of what you're doing. And this could be a project. Maybe there's some kind of project that's reaching culmination. But underneath it, you got forest and you got breath. And it's interesting, on Easter Sunday, like this last Sunday actually, I posted a reading called Messages from Your Angels. And I had mentioned that I had gone for a walk, and while I was walking, I took the path less traveled. Sorry, putting my English hat on for a moment, English major hat on. But I veered to another side of the path that I had never walked before. And I saw all these beautiful trees. And what's lovely about that experience is that it felt like an exhale. It felt like an inhale. It felt like, okay, I've reached my goal. And that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting here. I think by the middle of the week, you're going to be culminating some kind of project or something. Either that, or you're going to feel like you've reached some kind of apex for something. And then I'm trying to think if there's some kind of full moon coming. I think we're still a week off from that. But you definitely feel like you're reaching the culmination of something. And the moment you reach that, it's going to give you a moment to breathe. And it's almost going to give you a moment to breathe and to kind of exhale, like, okay, I finally made it. I finally did this. It's done. But you're going to feel very proud, and you're going to feel like it's going to be that good kind of exhaustion. But it is kind of saying that once it's done, once you can take pride in it, go ahead and take a break. Take a breather. It's kind of what I'm feeling. I do think that if you did watch the angel reading, that pile 1 might be very important to you. I do think it's telling you that maybe you need to take a step back, or once everything is done, and I am getting kind of a work and home kind of vibe. It's almost like you go all out, or you go full throttle when you're at work, then you come home and then you breathe. I do get a feeling like the perspective, the vantage point of this really does feel like maybe you're going for a walk. And when you go for a walk and you get out in trees, just like my walk, you get a perspective. It really does allow you to breathe. It lets you to recoup. It lets you come down from all of this really strong fire energy. And I am feeling fire and air too, right? The sun feeds plants, air, plants exhale oxygen, and they breathe in carbon dioxide. So there's a natural kind of flow there. And I think that it is encouraging you at the middle of the week to keep that circle going, work hard, be proud, shine bright, but then, breathe out and go for a walk and decompress. Then by the end of the week, you have wind energy activation, right? And I think by the end of the week, all of this activity, again, you've had a good conduit of energy. You've been really connected. It's brought you to some kind of conclusion, and it's allowed you to come down from that conclusion and breathe. But I do think that I'm feeling Wheel of Fortune. It's almost like it's turning things into, the wheel is turning, the wind is blowing. There's a beautiful song called Winds of Change, and there's this really, I don't whistle, but there's this whistle part of it in the beginning of the song, and it goes, it's like, do, 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 do. I'm sorry, I'm not singing it right. But it talks about the winds of change. And that's what I feel like right here. It's like towards the end of the week, you're going to be looking and saying, wow, I did all of this. I accomplished so much. Where is this going? Right? The wheel, your energy has made the wheel turn, or it's contributed to the turn of the wheel. And the winds of change are blowing. But it's a really beautiful song. I'll try to post. I try not to. This is not intended to be any infringement. It's just the inspiration for a lot of these interpretations. But there's the beginning. It's an old song. It's considered vintage by now. But it has this beautiful intro of whistling. And it's very haunting and melodic. But the dice that you got collection. If it focus, please. There we go. And collection, and honestly, when I think of collection, I don't think of it like collection in the normal sense of collecting things. I do think I'm getting a real vibe of the collective. Because synergy involves you and somebody else. Radiance involves you shining bright above a mass. And you see how many trees are here, and you see the wind of change. I just really get a sense of there being a collective energy to all this. And I think you are connected to more than just yourself. I'm really not getting an isolated vibe from any of this energy. Because honestly, the sun shines down on all of us. The forest, you think of the forest from the trees, that's a real mass energy, and the winds blowing. Again, I think of the trade winds. I think macro, I don't think micro. And gosh, if that's not very, it's interesting. I actually took an environmental course where I visited NASA, and we got to see all of that took my breath away. I got to see all of the satellites and the way that they gauge the trade winds, and that's what I think of. I think of the trade winds. I think of it's amazing how the little things that we do every day are not little, because those little shifts things are always shifting. And that's what I think of when I think of activation in the wind. Things are always shifting, right? The winds are always blowing. The things are always going to transition from one stage to another. And I think that's going to be very big on your mind by the end of the week. I think you're going to be thinking both as yourself, but you're going to be, you ever see Google Maps when you zoom out? I think you're going to be really zooming out by the end of the week. You're going to be thinking of the bigger picture. And maybe what's going on, with the health of the world, or, maybe what's going on with you and your household versus the bigger world. You're going to be thinking about that at the end of the week, and you're really going to be thinking about the collective is what I'm feeling. But all of this is really beautiful energy, guys, and I do think that you're thinking of things outside of yourself, and you're thinking about how your role plays into that bigger picture. And gosh, guys, how much more Earth Day can you get? I'm so proud of that. That's an awesome pile. So I hope this resonated. If it doesn't, please feel free to choose a different deck. But wow, that's amazing. So deck number 1, that's your energy for the week. I'll go ahead and put your dragonfly out front. There we go. All right, so deck number 2, you got one of my favorite animals. You got the bear. He's a good sized bear, and he's a good bear. He's always guarded my cards very well. So let's go ahead and see. And again, it's terrible. Oh gosh, why can't I remember the name? The moment I stop filming, I'm going to remember the name, and I'm going to be like kicking myself, like, dang, I love this deck, right? All right, sorry, I'm going to stop blabbing. So deck number 2, what's your energy for the week? Okay, and then the middle of the week, please. What's our energy for the middle of the week? 1 card. And the end of the week. What's our energy for the end of the week? Oh wow! First off, I'm seeing a lot of red. I'm feeling a lot of. You see how much red and gold? I'm getting so much fire from this pile, guys. All right, and before I forget, sorry, let's go ahead. We're going to dig deep. We're going to shake it up and dig deep. What is our energy? Okay, and it's kind of upside down, so I'm going to read it upside down. Let's see, boundary. Oh, I'm getting such a cool message from this. Okay, so at the beginning of the week, you got Heart Guardian. Love and let yourself be loved. Oh. I love this message because she has a gold heart there, and you see the flames, and you see just how she's closing her eyes and being open to the energy. I do think I am getting a sense, I'm getting a little sense of, I'm getting a feeling of surrender, but in that mystical kind of higher power kind of way. And again, you guys know that on this channel, I respect free will. I'm not saying that any of these energies are going to happen to you against your free will. You have the power to choose whatever you choose to do. Anytime we read a card, it is just interpretation. If it does not resonate, you just let it go and walk away. If it doesn't resonate, then it's not the message for you. So I'm not trying to push anything on you or get all woo-woo. But what I see is just, I feel a heart-centeredness. I feel like a really strong fire. I feel a real Leo, heart-centered kind of feeling. And love and let yourself be loved is almost like, just opening your heart to being receptive. And I feel like at the beginning of the week, that's what you're going to be doing. And again, the way that this woman has her eyes closed, and she's kind of holding on to a rose, you see all these symbols of just passion and love, and I get a sense of, I get a sense of surrender. I do get a strong sense of just really receptive and creativeness. I'm getting a real Queen of Wands kind of feeling, but not in an egotistical way. It's almost like I am almost getting kind of a tired vibe, and not in a strange way, but it's almost like a surrender, I'm almost getting that vibe where have you ever had times in your life where you feel really beaten down, or you just feel tired? And definitely in these times right now, when we've got so much going on, you feel overwhelmed, you feel like everything is coming at you from all sides, and you just kind of let go. You ever have that moment where you just let go and you say, okay, I have no other choice but to believe that everything is going to be okay, for no other reason than that I love and I know how to receive love, right? And it's like that opening of your heart to say, I let go. I let go, and I'm just going to, I also get a sense of remaining positive. Like this woman is closing her eyes as if she trusts, right? And tell me that is not a difficult thing to do. And I always like to say, and it's a very Leo concept, and I'm not a Leo sun sign. I'm a Libra sun sign, but I have a Saturn in Leo. So I know a lot about sacrifice when it comes to the heart. But when it comes to Leo, when you think of, I always say that when the root of the word courage is core, C-O-U-R. And the meaning of the word core is heart. It means taking heart. Have you ever had that moment where you take heart and you close your eyes and you just trust that everything's going to be okay? For no other reason than, I also kind of think of it as whatever, I do think of it in that biblical kind of saying, and it is a more Christian kind of phrase where you say, nothing can happen to me that you and I can't handle together. And that's you and your creator, or you and your God. So I kind of think of that. It's like, okay, let go, close your eyes, trust your heart, open your heart, and be receptive, and just know. It's like, it's almost having that core, that heart, that trust that everything is going to be okay. And I think you have that at the beginning of the week, and gosh, that is emulating strength. And gosh, guys, even your symbol, the bear, in tarot, strength is the lion. In Lenormand, bear is strength. It's being that leader. There's a lot of, I'm feeling a very strong Leo vibe here, but you could be another fire sign, or you're just feeling fire. But at the beginning of the week, you're gonna know, there's gonna be some kind of trust that everything, either that or you're just anchoring. I'm feeling a strong anchor in yourself that you're gonna, if everything else fails, you can rely on yourself and your creator. So, and not even to be woo-woo with it. If you don't have a certain spiritual belief, I'm not saying that you have to, but you're going to trust yourself, and you're going to be very anchored at the beginning of the week, and you're going to be surrendering in a very powerful kind of way. And then I'm getting a real spiritual vibe from this week, guys. I don't know, your energies are off the charts, for reals. Now, by the middle of the week, you got Eagle, which is see from a higher perspective. And gosh, guys, I've said before, there's a deck there's a card in this deck, and here, I'll pull it out real quick because I have to reference it. It's called Communion. And here, there you go. It's right there. It came out right away. And what you see is, you see an eagle. You see an eagle. And it's about higher power. It's about seeing things from a higher perspective. So I'm getting a real spiritual kind of awakening with you guys. And I know this is just a weekly energy. So again, I'm not trying to get all woo-woo with it. But I just really get the feeling like the beginning of the week, you're really trusting, you're letting go. Your heart is all powerful. And you're opening it up, and you're letting things happen as they are, and you're surrendering and having trust and faith. By the middle of the week, you have an I here. So it's like, again, you are communing, you are having a lot of communication with your higher power. Maybe you're having really prophetic dreams. Maybe you're having really symbolic dreams. But you are seeing things from a higher perspective. And quite honestly, by the middle of the week, you're really going to feel like you're communing. You're having some kind of communication. You are checking in with the universe. and you're going to feel it. And the thing that I get from this reading that I think is the most beautiful is that a lot of times, sometimes when you're awakening in that way, it can be scary as all get out. Like you start having really graphic dreams, lucid dreams, either that or you start surrendering and then you start getting afraid, like you kind of backpedal a little bit. You're not doing that. You're opening up the floodgates. You're saying, okay, I am letting go. Tell me what to do. What should I do? Show me the bigger picture. I want to see it. And you're not waffling. Maybe I really get a sense like you're connecting. And again, with Earth Day being in the middle of the week, this could be kind of, maybe you're connecting with nature a little bit. Maybe and again, the name of my channel is Soul Symbols. Maybe you're seeing things out in nature, and oh my gosh, I love that. Maybe you are seeing eagles, or you're seeing some kind of symbol that really speaks to you. But you're seeing it's almost like you're zooming out and seeing things from a higher perspective. And I feel like you're like the eye of a camera, you're opening up and you're okay with it. You're not being afraid from it. And it is it's a lot of spiritual energy, and you're handling it like a pro, right? Now, by the end of the week, you got Fire Guardian. You have Heart Guardian, seeing things from a higher perspective, and then Fire Guardian. Oh, and goodness, guys. Quite honestly, maybe you have fire in your chart. It doesn't have to be your sun. It can be your moon. If this is your moon, it doesn't surprise me, because the moon in a fire sign, like Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, if you're Aries, rock on with your bad self, because honestly, the sun is in Aries. This is your season. And God, honestly, guys, I feel so bad for you, because I'm not laughing because, we just came out of a really long Capricorn transit, which is squares Aries. And this is springtime. And the sun is in Aries, and usually that is like, the no more teachers, no more books, no more, you running through the tulips and enjoying spring, and then a health crisis lands in the middle of your freedom and you're stuck at home. And that sucks. And I've been feeling that way, like, oh my God, they finally got out of a really long transit, and then it's like, haha, now you can't go outside. It sucks, and I'm sorry, but by the end of the week, and again, I'm feeling you're opening yourself up, you're showing that fire strength, and by the end of the week, I'm getting animated just reading your pile, so I can tell I'm definitely sensing fire here. Ignite your passions. Ignite your passions. And you see he's kind of levitating an orb there, and this looks like an archangel. It looks like someone, both of these wings, right? It's almost as if they're telling you that you are protected through this process, like you're being guided. All three of these cards have wings. Actually, I really feel like it's telling you to fly. And I'm feeling there's so much red. And what I thought was great, it was that your tile is boundary, but it's upside down. It's boundary, but it's upside down. And you know what that tells me? It says, don't have boundaries. It's telling me, and pardon the language, and I don't even curse, but screw boundaries. Screw them. and again, it's Aries season, and you're being told. Now, again, I'm not telling you to, flaunt the rules. Don't flaunt the rules. We're flattening the curve, and we're doing what we need to do. But ignite your passions just kind of means that while things are crazy, while the world is changing, the other thing about Aries and fire signs is that they're the trailblazers. You guys are the trailblazers, and honestly, I'm a Libra. Aries is opposite to me. Light it up. Light it up. Seriously, guys, I've always said that anytime you feel limited is a fantastic, and remember how I said it's an opportunity? To the rest of the world, it feels like we're on lockdown and it feels like a limitation. But I know, oh goodness knows, if you're a fire sign, you would be looking at this like, okay, what angle have we not looked at this at, right? When we come out of this, what are people going to need, right? What can we do? What can we do? How can we do this, right? And gosh, guys, I'm serious. Light it up. Light it up. And that's what I'm feeling like, is I'm feeling like I feel like you're going to be seeing things from a higher perspective by the middle of the week, and you're probably going to be getting ideas. Fire signs are entrepreneurs. Seriously, I haven't gone down a list, of all the CEOs in the world. I mean, there's got to be some earth energy in there somewhere, but to be honest, just about every fire sign has a little bit of earth because you're so close in the zodiac. You probably have a little Taurus in there, some Virgo. It's always very close on the spectrum. But here I am just seeing that even if it's not physical freedom, I'm feeling a lot of spiritual freedom, and I feel like you're going to be getting ideas, and whatever you feel like doing, whatever is giving you expression during this tough time, you are feeling no boundaries. And whether that be in your own mind or in your own spirit, rock that completely out, because I do feel like this week, if you ever look back in time and think, oh gosh, that was the week that I had that epiphany that changed my life, I think it might be this. And I'm not trying to get you pumped up, but there's such a quiet, and again, you see how none of these people, these are not like the Ace of Wands. They're not running anywhere. This woman has her eyes closed, and she looks like she's in the middle of some kind of transcendental experience. And the guy is looking at you, and look at that expression. It's like, look at this orb that I'm hovering in my hand. So I am getting a strong fire vibe, and I do think that there's going to be some kind of quiet epiphany here, but it's going to break boundaries, and maybe it's an idea, maybe it's connection with some kind of higher knowledge. But this week is really feeling strong, and this is such beautiful energy, guys. And I am seeing a lot of gold, and I'm seeing earth and red. I'm seeing brown and red. So maybe you are some kind of combination. If you know your own chart, maybe you are some kind of combination. But I do feel like you're some kind of, on the outside, in the physical world, it may not seem like you're flying, but in your mind and in your spirit, you're soaring. And that's amazing. That's really amazing. And again, I know I'm getting real animated, but that's a beautiful week, guys. So whatever ideas or whatever thoughts you're having, oh gosh, that's, it's a privilege to read your cards. That's really exciting. Definitely roll with it and enjoy that energy, and enjoy your Earth Day. If you do have earth in your chart, go out to a garden, put your hands in dirt. I hope that I can do that day. But that's your reading for the week. All right, so moving right along, let's go ahead and we'll go on to the third deck. We got our Goldstone Frog. And again, he has a little imperfection over his right, my left eye. And he doesn't have a name. He's a blue goldstone frog. So if you feel like naming him, leave it in a comment. But you have your messages from your animal guides by Stephen D. Farmer. I love this deck. It's a great deck. So let's go ahead and see what's your energy for the week. Ooh, you saw that, right? It flew out. That's the beginning of the week. What's the energy for the middle of the week? These cards kind of have a little bit of a ribbed texture, so they make a little bit of sound when I shuffle. Okay, we'll go ahead and go with the mountain goat. And let's see, for the end of the week. Ooh, we got a lot of flippers. That's awesome. Oh gosh, guys. I think last week we had a sea turtle in the last position for, was it deck 3? I think it was deck 3. Sometimes energies it's almost like a story. It goes from week to week. So what's our energy, deck 3? What's our card? Oh gosh. Okay. Let me just tell you guys, this is supposed to be like a word game, and you see how all the tiles are blue? There is one tile that's pink, and what it is that it gives, the pink tile gives direction. It tells you the action that's going to be taken. It's almost like the verb of the game. And you got the pink tiles. So we'll go ahead and we'll read this. We'll go ahead and read this. This is interesting. So at the beginning of the week, you got Camel. Oh, and I love this card. Trust that you have the resources to get through the challenges before you. Oh, that's beautiful. I'll tell you, you know, sometimes I have a lot of oracle decks, and when they talk about the desert, and, you know, you'll either see a cactus. Actually, in the Spacious Tarot, they have the Strength card as a cactus. And, you know, the same thing with Camel. You know, it's an animal, a mammal that, you know, holds water to survive. It holds water to survive the long journey. So at the beginning of the week, I do feel that. I feel like I really get the feeling like you're at the end of your journey, or you're in the midst of it. You feel like you've been walking a long time through the desert and you haven't found your oasis yet. But the universe is kind of being your cheerleader. It's kind of encouraging you to keep going. It's saying that, yes, you have a reserve of water in your body, right? You know, hang in there. I really get a hang in there vibe. Like, maybe it's saying trust that you have the resources to get through the challenges before you. So maybe you're having kind of a rough Monday. I know it seems like every week has been a different challenge. And again, I said at the beginning of the video, I'm an essential worker, and it's like, you know, every week you get back to work on Monday and you're like, you're grateful. You know, I'm grateful to be working. I always pray every day that everyone has what they need to survive, because I know it's hard for everyone right now. There are people who are not working. There are people who are working too much, right? You know, and the staying at home and the psychological changes. This has not been normal, and it's not been fun, and it's not been easy for anyone. And I really get the feeling like whatever your situation, whether you're working, whether you're not working, whether you're staying at home, whether you're, you know, homeschooling, it's like, oh my God, you know, the world is on its head right now. And the Camel is just saying that, you know, the first couple of weeks of the you know, next week, you might be feeling it like you're that camel that's just plodding through the desert. Like, when am I going to get to the oasis, right? Like, when is it going to show up? So I do get kind of a cheerleader vibe from this, that's saying, you know, you're going to be okay. Just keep going. You're going to feel like you're plodding through the desert at the beginning of the week, but you're going in the right direction is kind of the feeling I'm getting. And you have enough. The other thing is that if this is money related or resource related, and goodness knows the moment you stock up the house with, you know, food, you know, the snacks go really fast. Believe me, you know, not to be funny, but my mom sent me some organic graham crackers in the shape of bunnies, and those have been going quick. They've been going quick. I'm out of graham bunnies, and it's like, oh God, you know. So just know, if you're being eaten out of house and home, or you just feel like, oh gosh, okay, I have this budget for the week. The universe is telling you, keep on going. You got enough money. You got enough resources to last you. It's gonna be okay. You might be worried about that, but, you know, fear not. And then by the middle of the week, you got Mountain Goat, which is there's something out of balance in your life, so do whatever you need to correct it. And Mountain Goat, I always think of, I think of Capricornian in energy. And Capricorn it's a very resilient sign. The other thing is these two animals are very resilient, right? A camel knows how to go long distances with very little water. A mountain goat knows how to climb into really high altitudes. Mountain goats chew anything. Like, mountain goats will eat a tin can, right? They know how to get by with very, very little. But what I'm seeing here is that I'm getting a sense that by the middle of the week, maybe I am getting a sense that resources, or you're just feeling like you, and it doesn't even have to be material. It could be spiritually. It could be emotionally, where you're just feeling like you feel like you're on a shoestring budget somewhere, right? And I feel like the universe is telling you the lack that you're feeling is trying to get your attention, right? It's trying to get you to focus on how things can change, or how you can change things to get better. And it's not putting any pressure on you. It's not saying that you're doing anything wrong, but it is telling you maybe by the middle of the week you are going to feel like something's out of whack, and you're like, I can't. The other thing I'm getting is I can't keep going like this, right? Because I also get a very shrewd energy from this. Camels are very, very, they're smart. So are mountain goats. Mountain goats are very shrewd. They know you understand survival, but the thing that I'm getting is that you shouldn't be stuck on survive. And I think by the middle of the week, it's like you've been in that mindset, maybe the things going on in the world, or maybe, again, it could be resources, it could be spiritually. Something is wrong and something is not in balance. And by the middle of the week, you're really going to be trying to dig deep to figure out what it is. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. Definitely, it might not be comfortable, but to delve deep. The other thing that I'm getting is that with a desert and with a mountaintop, the environments in these cards, they're very solitary. So I think the other thing that's kind of telling you is that you might want to pull away a little bit. I am getting a little bit of a hermit energy. We had a tarot on the hermit. You see that he stands at a mountaintop, which is very desolate. It's a place that is high above the rest of the world. And I feel like by the middle of the week, it's almost like the universe is telling you that you have to get away. Step away for a little bit. See things from a different perspective, get kind of high up above, and think about what it is that's stressing you out, or think about what it is that you feel is not in balance. Now, by the end of the week, you got tortoise, and this is a regular turtle. It's not a sea turtle, but you're too fragmented, so do whatever it takes to get grounded. Oh my gosh, guys. Yeah, oh, I feel bad. I do feel, the other thing is that frogs are about cleansing. It's about emotional cleansing. It's about purging. So yeah, I think you're very stressed out. I think by the beginning of the week, you're a little less stressed. You're almost like, okay, how am I going to get through? I have this much resources. By the middle of the week, you're really just feel like you're climbing. The other thing is that goats, they climb on these little, like they'll put one hoof on this little 1-inch ledge, you feel like you're scaling a mountain. So by the end of the week, it is the universe flat out telling you that you're too fragmented. And getting grounded kind of means connecting with the real world. It is sometimes when we worry about money or we worry about resources, sometimes it is all up in our head. The funny thing is that we think that it's real because you're thinking so intently, and because you're laser focused, worried about something, you're like, this is real because I'm, worrying a bunch about it. But when you think about it, you're worrying and it's putting you in your own little mind space. It may not necessarily be reality. And I'm not trying to say that what you're thinking is not valid, it is. But sometimes I always see when I get the grounded card, and I get this a lot, I get told all the time, okay, you're worrying too much, you're fragmenting your energy. You're what's that saying, worry is like trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing bubblegum. You're chewing and chewing and chewing. And that's the other thing mountain goats do, is they do chew. They chew and chew and chew. They run over things over and over and over and over again. But does it really solve anything, right? Or does it just amp up your worry? So by the end of the week, the universe is kind of telling you that you might want to take things kind of slow and steady and ground yourself. And ground yourself can be different things. Sometimes grounding yourself can be getting out in the world. Sometimes, and again, with the current circumstances, you might be a little too cooped up. Maybe you haven't been out in the world, so you're getting disconnected in that way. Now, again, I'm not telling you to break any social distancing rules. We have to adhere to that. But maybe just going out for a walk, maybe, and again, this being Earth Day, go outside and put your hand in nature, put your hand in dirt, maybe replant a house plant, really feel, mulch underneath your hands. The other thing that I always said, and I said it in the angel reading too, the first set of cards got a theme of nature. Sometimes with all the bad that's going outside our windows, outside our doors, sometimes we think, with the health scare that, that nature is just out to get us, and really that's not true. Maybe getting grounded means to go out in the world and kind of get a new perspective, to reconnect and see, okay, everything is living, nothing is out to get me, everything is okay. There's an ecosystem there, right? There's a balance. There's a natural balance. There's a natural web to which you are an organic part. You hold a place in the scheme of things. So maybe connecting to that, either that, or I always say that if it is a money thing, get a plan. Maybe kind of map out, since you have so much mental energy, you're striving so hard towards a solution, go ahead and map out a plan. Maybe get a budget, or say, okay, this is how I'm going to pay my bills, first pay period, second pay period. Either that, or if it is a spiritual thing, connect to what it is that makes you happy. I always say the things that make time disappear, like whatever hobby that you do, that you look at the clock and it's 1 o'clock, and then you look at the clock again and it's 5 o'clock. Whenever time flies, when you lose track of time, go ahead and invest in that hobby towards the end of the week, because I think you are being too fragmented. You're putting a lot of energy towards things that maybe you can't control. Now, the last thing is that your tile, and remember how we said this is the verb, this is the action, this is the one pink tile out of the entire game. And what it says is, it says add detail, but it's upside down. When I see something upside down, just like when I see a card upside down, I take it as the inverse. I take it as the reverse, as the negative manifestation. So to add detail, you know what that tells me is that, just like it says fragmented, it says do not take on any more. Don't add any more nuance to anything else that you're doing. Fragmenting is when you think, I almost think fragmenting to me is if you've ever looked at a carpet or a piece of material that got cut and all of a sudden the edges start to fray, the threads of material start to become loose, where they're not weaved together anymore. That is being fragmented, right? And what that is that's trying to see detail. That's too much detail. That's you pulling at those threads, right? The threads are coming unraveled, right? And that's what you don't want to do. You want to stop that, right? So what it's saying is, don't overanalyze. Stop unraveling your carpet. Start weaving your carpet back together, and do activities that, don't take on any more little duties, and stop pulling apart at anything that was in mass. I'm sorry, I hope that makes sense, but that's what it's really saying. It's saying that try to think about the balance in your life, and don't, what's the saying when they always say splitting hairs, there we go. It's saying, so add detail in reverse. It really thinks, it makes me think, don't split hairs. You don't have to, right? Go ahead and try to weave those threads back into a solid material. And and go ahead and, you know, do things that make you feel grounded, you know. If you're going to put your mental energy towards anything, think about the activities that do make you feel grounded. That would be a place to start, right? And just like the turtle, go slow and steady. Maybe you'll even see a turtle, or maybe you'll see a frog. I don't think you'll see a mountain goat or camel. Maybe you will. Maybe you will. You never know. Symbols are everywhere, right? But definitely, I do think that you will feel a little bit better. I do think that you're going to slow down by the end of the week, but I am getting a kind of a mental energy from this, and it would be good to, you know, don't split hairs, don't pull apart anything. Try to get low, get grounded, and think about the things that are, you know, the bulk of your life. All right, guys, so that's deck number 3, and that's your week. And wow, guys, I always say I love oracle card readings. I definitely, as you've seen, I've been trying to kind of change it up. I'm going to do different things on my channel moving forward. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to my soul siblings, to all the people who have subscribed, and the people and the folks, my subscribers who have been with me since the beginning. Thank you. I'm in the 60s for subscribers now, and I am so grateful for every single one of you. If you like the content, if you like the way that I've been doing things, please let me know. If you have any suggestions for other readings, you know, please leave a comment. You don't have to subscribe to do that. Again, and one last announcement, I used to, every month on the 19th, I would do what I call the Dungeons and Dragons reading. I have gone ahead and decided to stop doing those readings. I will do them periodically, maybe on Dungeons and Dragons Day, and I will definitely still be using all of the cards that I utilize in those readings for future, you know, pick-a cards and other themes. But for right now, I do think that we're enjoying the other content more, so I'm gonna keep with that. If you'd like to stop back by, I am going to be continuing with the How to Tarot. This upcoming Tuesday is going to be the 8 of Wands. Oh gosh, and what an energetic card, right? But I hope that you are all staying well, staying safe, staying healthy, and I hope that you can stop back by, and I'll see you then. Bye.